Good morning, sunshine. Happy Monday to you. Yes, happy Monday. I know we're at a very different time, so people are probably going to have to take a minute to find out where we are. But we are here because it is Monday and it is a beautiful, beautiful day here. I'm on the East Coast and it's a beautiful day. I just ran around opening all the windows and I want to say a loving good morning to you this morning. Yes, good morning, Colorado. Good morning as everybody is loading in to our virtual living room. Remember, you all are supposed to be signing in with your Acts prayer this morning, Harlem. You're supposed to be signing in Vegas with your Acts prayer, Tobago and Georgia and Germany and Houston. Nobody, oh, there's my prayer. Thank you, Denise Carson. Thank you, Denise Carson. You were supposed to sign in with your prayer this morning. St. Louis and Inglewood. What happened? Good morning to UK. Maine is here. Chicago's here. But y'all are saying hello, and you were supposed to sign in with your Acts prayer this morning. So I'm just gonna know that people are fixing it up and putting it in there, and it's going to come in a minute. Yes, so come on into the global living room. We are here to discuss living beyond the virus, living beyond the virus, and getting ourselves in order. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, let's come on in. I'm not seeing. Okay, there's a prayer. There's a prayer. I see the prayer. Y'all at least got one line. Thank you, Jessica. Jessica did her assignment. She got it in. Come on, Baltimore. Yeah, Richmond. Yeah. So this room is really about living, and we're doing our spiritual warrior training. So you gotta, Vegas, you gotta come on, do your prayer. There we go. Come on. Janetra. Yes, Janetra. She got her prayer in. Good morning, Boston. Yeah, listen, I did go to the beach on Saturday. I did go right out to the ocean. And much to my horrification, there was lots of people out there walking around with no masks on, no gloves on, walking right up on top of each other. So I stayed in my car and played my gospel music and just stared at the ocean. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it. I have talked to people all around this country as we've been going through this. I've talked to doctors, I've talked to nurses, I've talked to police officers and public officials, my dear friend Van Jones and April Ryan. And this is what I know for sure. This corona thing is real. It's real. Now, I don't think we have to be afraid and stuff, but we must take responsibility for keeping ourselves safe. I don't like the mask either. I'm too fine to be wearing the mask. I don't mind the gloves right now because I ain't got no nails. And I don't like threatening people with my spray when they come up too close on me. I'm not afraid, but I'm simply following what the experts say is required right now. And that's what warriors do. Warriors do battle to preserve life and the throne. And I'm the throne, and this is my life, I want to live disease-free. Come on, the prayers are coming in. I see it. So the mask is my helmet, the gloves are my shield, and my spray is my sword. So I'm prepared to do battle out there in the world, yes. And I will suit up every day because warriors have to suit up. I will suit up every day until either the experts tell me or my spirit feels that it's safe to go out there barefaced and open-handed. I'm not going out there. And the people was just walking around with the dogs and everything. I was like, oh, Lord. Jacksonville, yeah. I hope you got a chance to see Love from a Distance last night with me and Tina Lifford and Mama B, the grand Mama B, Tina Knowles Lawson, Miss Beyonce's mom, as a real woman talking about her life and beauty secrets and entrepreneurship and everything. Because we forget, yeah, she may be Beyonce's mother, but she's also Saudi Arabia. Good morning, Saudi Arabia. Good to see you. Yes. And it was so wonderful. It was just wonderful to have that conversation. And then we had these two doctors, Dr. Smith and Dr. Middlebrooks. They looked like they were teenagers. And they are practicing physicians in Atlanta. And they gave us the lowdown scoop diddly on what we need to do, particularly as people of color, because not because we're better or different, just because it's having a disproportionate impact on our communities because of all of the underlying issues, including the lack of available health care, okay? So they were so cute, and I was so proud of them. Grand rising to you. Come on, here come my prayers. Yeah, my prayers are coming in. Good. I'm glad you did your assignment. How is that for you? Is it really working for you? I hope so. Yes. Your supplication and your acknowledgement. And oh, yes. Oh, you make a teacher proud. Good morning, Toronto. Good morning. You make a teacher proud. Yes. I don't know what everybody else is doing with online learning, but this. Good morning, Berlin, New Hampshire. Yeah, this right here, we're doing good. We're doing our warrior training online. Bahrain, good morning. Hey, Philly, I'm good. Where's my Brooklyn? Once I see Brooklyn, I know we're ready to start. I can't go nowhere without my Brooklyn. Harlem, I see is here. Yes, spiritual warriors here, present and available. Now remember, this is Mindful Monday, so you're gonna need paper and pen. Central Islip, this is a teaching day, okay? This is a teaching day. All right, Brooklyn's in the house. I'm good to go. Queens is here too, and St. Croix. Oh, from Queens, in Queens by way of St. Croix. Okay. London's in the house. Norwalk, Connecticut is in the house. Yes, I acknowledge that God is sovereign. Come on, Anchorage, Alaska. Come on. You got to get it in there. Oakland, New York, and PDX. What's PDX? Norfolk? I know we're Norfolk. Is anybody here? Hi, South Africa. Boogie Down Bronx is here. Charlotte is here. Is anybody here from Smithfield, Virginia? That's where my people am from. Smithfield, Virginia. That's where they are. Good morning, Brooklyn. And I say great and grand rising to everybody. Welcome to your daily antiviral message, living beyond the virus. And guess what, beloveds? This is day 44. You add that 4 and that 4, that's an 8. This is a powerful day. And I am pleased to announce that there has been no late night snacking for the past 2 days. I was tempted, but I didn't do it. I did my Acts prayer, and I am grateful, grateful, grateful to be alive, awake, and aware that there's something going on beyond the virus, and you are here. So here we go. And so we begin. Yeah? And so we begin. I want you to take a nice deep inhale, long deep inhale through the nose, and a slow complete exhale through the nose. And we're going to do a little deeper exercise this morning. So for today's breath work, be sure that you are in a comfortable position. You can be seated, you can be lying, and that means you won't have to type, okay? But sit upright if you're sitting with your feet flat on the floor, your arms and your legs uncrossed, your hands resting on your lap, palms up or down, whichever way is more comfortable for you. And just connect with your breath. Allow your eyelids to close gently, which means you're really not going to be able to type. You can get back to typing in a minute. Just take a few moments to get in touch with the movement of your breath and the sensations in your body. Just take a minute. Relaxing the shoulders, spine erect, belly relaxed. Just take a moment. And notice the sensations in your body. Bring your awareness to any physical sensations in your body, especially the sensation of touch or pressure, where your body makes contact with the chair, or the floor. Just notice, just be aware. Any tightness, any tension, any anxiousness, any pressure anywhere in the body. Just breathe and be aware. Feel it. Yeah. Now bring your attention to the gentle rising and falling, like ocean waves coming in and out, always there. The breath is always there, supporting you, connecting you to life and your Creator. Notice each breath. Focus on each inhale and each exhale. Relax the shoulders. Notice where the inhale begins, where it ends, and the exhale begins. Just notice. Now, there's no need to try to control the breath. Let the breath breathe you, and let the breath breathe itself. Just be aware as best you can. Just bring an attitude of gentle acceptance to each in-breath and each out-breath. Hold your awareness on the breath. Each inhale, each exhale. And sooner or later, your mind may wander away from the breath to other concerns or worries or images, bodily sensations, planning, or daydreams. Or it just may drift off, drift along or drift off. That's what minds do much of the time. They wander, minds wander. They think, minds think. So if you notice that your mind is racing or has wandered off, congratulate yourself because you have become aware of your experience. Breathe in, breathe out. So often we move through the days of life totally unaware of what we are experiencing in the moment. Now that you are aware, if your mind wanders, gently escort it back. Bring your attention back to your breath. The sensation of the breath coming in and going out. Good. Bring your awareness back to any physical sensations in your body. Notice anything you're feeling. Is there tightness anywhere? Is there tension? Is there racing? Is there rushing? Anxiety or any other sensation in a particular part of your body? Just notice, just be aware. Acknowledge their presence. Don't try to fix it or change it, just let it be with the breath, inhale and exhale. If you notice anything in your body, don't try to hold on to it or make it go away. Just notice. Nothing to do. Breathe calmly. See if you can breathe into the sensation by just imagining that your breath is moving into and out of that place in your body. Try that. If your shoulders are tight, breathe into and out of the shoulders. If your belly is tight, your knees, your arms are tight, just breathe into that place and out of that place. Not trying to fix anything, change anything, just connecting with the breath in the right now moment. The intention is not to make you feel better, but to get better at feeling. To be aware, to notice what you feel and where you feel it. That's the intention. Gently follow your inhale and your exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. Noticing your body. Shoulders relax. Just notice. Great. Now take a long, deep inhale into the nose and out the nose. And you may now open your eyelids. Good. Murfreesboro, Tennessee, good morning. As a spiritual warrior, you want to begin to train yourself to be aware and to notice what is going on in your body and your mind. You want to know that. You don't have to do anything about it unless it's pain, physical pain. But that's an entirely different lesson. We're not doing that today. For today, we simply want to increase our awareness and the willingness to just let whatever it is be without complaining or wondering. We just want to be aware of what we sense and what we feel so that we can start becoming more sensitive and growing our intuition. All right? And we breathe. Excellent. Ready to bless the world, warriors? Come on, we're going to do it. Today, let us send light and love and healing energy to men. All men everywhere. You know, we are moving towards Mother's Day. Yeah? And some men have lost their mothers right here in the corona. And others are not close to their mothers, either physically or emotionally. Some men lost their mothers even before the virus. And others can't get to their mothers. They can't reach them, so they're loving her from a distance. Yeah? And this week, when everyone will be focusing on mothers and moving towards Mother's Day, let's send the men folk a little loving energy this week. Because even them, they're going to have to be getting gifts or cards or whatever. So with deep compassion and loving kindness, let us send healing light and energy to fill the hearts and minds of men. The men in our lives, fathers or grandfathers, husbands or partners, uncles and brothers. Doesn't matter what the relationship is. Send them light and love. Sons and grandsons, even good friends, man to man, or women who have male friends. Just focus for a moment on the men that we know and care about and the men in the world. This is a hard time for them, yeah? Yeah. Focus. Let us see, feel, imagine, intended to be so, that the violet transmuting flame, a universal healing energy, let it surround every man on the planet, everyone, regardless of his age or race or nationality or location. Let us just send healing, light, and energy to men, the hard-working men, and those who have lost their means of work and employment, those who are on the front lines right now, those who are considered essential workers, and even those who are no longer in our lives through either choice or disappointment, those that we may have aught with. Let's just send them light and energy today. Today we are just blessing man, all men, and particularly those in our lives. And we breathe. Good. Yeah. We ask this universal healing energy to neutralize and transmute any fear in the minds of men, any and all anger or guilt or shame, feelings and thoughts of inadequacy or worthlessness. Let it be neutralized in the hearts and minds of men. We ask that all trepidation, harshness, hardness in the man's heart be lifted and healed and released with grace and ease. We ask and allow that the men on this planet, all of them, be filled with healing light and energy. Come on, we are connected in the heart. We can do this. We ask that the masculine mind, the masculine connection to the divine mother, the grace, the joy, the love, be strengthened and anchored. And that men be filled with gentle loving kindness and compassion for themselves and all others. And we breathe. For the men folk today. Join me in placing your hand over your heart and repeat these words silently or aloud with the intention that the men we know, the men we love, the men we stop loving, and all men will each receive this energy wherever, whenever, however they need it. Come on. Hand on your heart. May your mind be filled with light. May your spirit self be filled with courage and wisdom. May divine love fill your heart. May you know peace. Come on, and we breathe. For the man. Yeah, so let's just let that energy linger, because I know that there are some men out there today, some men in this thread, and we just bless you, because you know this is really going to be Women's Week as we move towards Mother's Day. So we just want to acknowledge you, yeah, our husbands, our sons, our stepsons, our ex-husbands, our ex-partners. Today, as spiritual warriors, we're not holding no grudges. We're just blessing. All of them. The police officers, the mailmen. Yeah, good morning, Anchorage, Alaska. I know this is Nurses Week. It is, yeah. And they're male nurses. Yeah, yes. Ooh, I just, you know, we just have to, we're just warriors. Okay, here we go. Listen, our inspirational reading today comes from The Power of Now. The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment by Eckhart Tolle, one of the master teachers on the planet right now. And I am reading from the chapter called Mind Strategies for Avoiding the Now. Mind Strategies for Avoiding the Now. If you didn't see it, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Yeah. You know, I love him. He's German. And I love, he speaks so slowly. All right, I'm going to read this, so listen up, okay? This is good. See if you can catch yourself complaining in either speech or thought about a situation you find yourself in. What other people do or say, your surroundings, your life situation, even the weather. To complain is always non-acceptance of what is. Remember, Byron Katie told us many weeks ago that when you argue with reality, when you argue with what is, you will suffer. Eckhart is saying the same thing. To complain is always non-acceptance of what is. It invariably carries an unconscious negative charge. When you complain, you make yourself into a victim. When you speak out, you are in your power. So, Change the situation by taking action or by speaking out if necessary or possible. Leave the situation or accept it. All else is madness, okay? Ordinary unconsciousness is always linked in some way with the denial of the now. The now, of course, also implies that you are here. Are you resisting your here and now? Listen, are you resisting your here and now? The now some people would always rather be someplace else. Their here is never good enough. Through self-observation, find out if that is the case in your life. Wherever you are, be there totally. If you find your here and now intolerable and it makes you unhappy, you have three options. Remove yourself from the situation, change it, or accept it totally. You got that? Don't just complain. Remove yourself from the situation, change it, or accept it totally. If you want to take responsibility for your life, you must choose one of those three options, and you must choose it now. Then accept the consequences. No excuses, no negativity, no psychic pollution. Keep your inner space clear. Can you hear me? Spiritual warriors need a clear inner space. If you take any action, leaving or changing your situation, drop the negativity first. That's right, own it, okay? If at all possible. Actions arising out of insight into what is required are more effective than actions rising out of negativity, okay? Any action is often better than no action, especially if you have been stuck in an unhappy situation for a long time. If it is a mistake, at least you learned something, in which case it's no longer a mistake. Did you hear that? If it is a mistake, if you're calling it a mistake, at least you learned something, and then it is no longer a mistake. Ooh, I love that. Thank you, Eckhart. If you remain stuck, you learn nothing. Is fear preventing you from taking action? Acknowledge the fear, watch it, take your attention into it, be fully present with it. Doing so cuts the link between fear and your thinking. Can you hear me? When you own it, not trying to change it, fix it, dismiss it. When you own it, you cut the link, you cut the power off of it. Don't let fear rise up in your mind. Use the power of now. Fear cannot prevail against the power of now. All right? The power of now, Eckhart Tolle, a guide to spiritual enlightenment. Lots of good tips in there for spiritual warriors in training. Don't just complain, do something. Be where you are totally. Be there. Yeah, now consider this affirmation for today and repeat it to yourself as often as possible throughout the day. And let's do this right here in the right now. Here we are. I am filled with the presence of divine wisdom. Yeah? I have access to the allness of divine mind. I can know everything I need to know. I allow divine mind to fill my mind now. Yeah? One more time, all right? One more time. I am filled with the presence of divine wisdom. I am filled with the presence of divine wisdom. I have access to the allness of divine mind. Yeah? I can know everything I need to know. I allow divine wisdom to fill my mind now. Yeah. And we breathe. Welcome to Mindful Monday. day 5 of our spiritual warrior training. I want to acknowledge you for all the prayers you've been putting in the thread today. That was our assignment. Come Monday with your prayer and put your prayer in the thread. Sign in with your prayer. Maybe some of you weren't with us on Saturday, but anyway, for those who did, I want to acknowledge you. Now, our topic today is mastering the mind through inquiry. This is a teaching day, so be sure to have your pen and paper ready, okay? And I'm going to speak slowly. I'm going to speak slowly so that you can take notes. And if you miss something, don't get caught up if you miss something. You can go back and review this broadcast either on this page or on my YouTube page. Okay, Colorado? Okay, good. Listen, the mind is busy. The work of the mind is to think. That's what the mind does. The challenge is that the mind, when it is not focused or directed, will make references and associations to what it already knows. In other words, the past. Unfortunately, what the mind knows and references, the references that it makes are not always grounded in the present moment. What is true in the present moment, or what is possible in the present moment, because the mind makes references and associations to what it already knows. The mind will default to what is known and what is familiar. Why? Because familiar is comfortable. And more often than not, when we are comfortable, we are not growing. That's why the mind will stay where it is complaining, okay? And being unhappy because it's not in the present moment. It's in the present, it's in what it already knows. Sometimes your partner or your coworker or somebody could have changed, but you only see them based on what you know and can't even receive the change because that's what the mind does, okay? That's what the mind does. And when we stay there, we don't grow. For this reason, a spiritual warrior must master the art, the practice, and the skill of making internal and external inquiry. A spiritual warrior has to be engaged in seeking truth. Therefore, a spiritual warrior must be mindful not to assume, don't assume stuff, not to jump to conclusions based on partial information, not to make judgments, not to attack, and not to be lulled into doing what is familiar or comfortable. Do you know how often we don't do what's required? We do what's familiar and comfortable, and the deceptive intelligence tells us that we can't do anything else. The mind is thinking about what it already knows. Yeah. So a spiritual warrior has to be mindful and must make inquiry in order to gain clarity about now, in order to strengthen intuition about now, in order to receive guidance now, and to override the ego mind right now, okay? So inquiry will lead to clarity, will strengthen intuition, will open you to guidance, and will override the ego mind. Got that? Yes. A spiritual warrior knows that in order to gain mastery within and dominion over the mind, the ego must be subdued. Okay? The ego must be subdued. One way to subdue it is breath. Another way to subdue it is prayer, meditation. You see, the ego wants to fight, not do battle. And warriors don't fight, they do battle, okay? The ego wants to react, not to strategize. And in order to do battle, you got to have a strategy. The ego wants to separate, not unify. The ego wants to ease God out, not submit to divine will, divine order, or the divine plan. Because the will and the order of the Creator is oneness and unification. The ego don't want that. The ego wants to be comfortable. The ego wants to be in charge and control. So spiritual warriors have to know how to surrender the ego. We're going to work on that tomorrow, okay? We're going to work on that tomorrow because that's what the deceptive intelligence of the ego wants to do. It wants to be in charge. It wants to be bigger than God, and it wants to keep you separate. Now, spirit, yeah, which is the driving force within the spiritual warrior, wants us to grow and heal and evolve and unify within ourselves and within the world. That's what spirit wants. So a spiritual warrior lives to fulfill divine will, which is love, and to advance the divine plan, which is oneness. That's what will is, love. And so it is through conscious inquiry within, hear me, conscious inquiry within, that a warrior, spiritual warrior, aligns with a higher purpose and meaning and spiritual values. Okay? Remember our spiritual warrior affirmation. Remember, I am standing for myself, within myself. Yeah? This means I make authentic and courageous inquiry of myself in order to align with truth and purpose in the now. Yes. So, on this Mindful Monday of Mastering the Mind, we are going to learn how to make internal inquiry so that we don't have to jump and run and fight every time something happens outside. You get taken off, down. No. And you're going to master this practice, this process, this skill, so that no matter what's going on out there, you make inquiry so that you know how to respond, not to react. Does that sound good? Anybody loving that? Come on, take a breath. Internal inquiry. To inquire within means to align with divine purpose. Inquiry is defined as asking for information. Yeah? Inquiry is defined as asking for information or to question or to launch an official investigation. That's inquiry. Asking for information, to question, or to launch, I love this, to launch an official investigation. Isn't that great? Within yourself. Within yourself. Listen, notice this. Inquiry, information, investigation. Did you get that? Did y'all miss that? Inquiry, information, investigation, not outquery or out formation or outvestigation. Did you notice that? Now, means the thing is enclosed or surrounded by something else. The true source of knowledge, information, and wisdom is within us. It is internal. So, a spiritual warrior makes internal inquiry to gain clarity and to receive information. Inquiry requires internal investigation for deeper insight that leads to inspiration. Come on, somebody. Inspiration. The process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something. When somebody inspires you, you feel stimulated to do something, right? Listen, I'm going to run that by you again. I want you to get this. A spiritual warrior makes internal inquiry to gain clarity and to receive information. Inquiry requires internal investigation for deeper insight that leads to inspiration. Oh, let me tell you something. Let me get my tissue and wipe my mouth. That is just so delicious. Ooh, just delicious. So we don't have to react to every little thing. Go in. Make inquiry within in order to get insight and inspiration. Could you just lick your lips? Oh, my Lord, have mercy. Somebody need to fry that and put it on the plate so I could put some ketchup on it. Yeah. Okay? Listen. To make inquiry, you want to be curious, not desperate. You want to be curious. Wow, what was that? You want to be open and willing to see beyond what you know, because the mind is wandering. To make inquiry, you want to be aware of what you are thinking, believing, and feeling in the moment. Just like our breath work today. Just be aware of the sensations. Know what you feel, nothing to do. How about that? So I want to give you the formula to make inquiry about anything you want to know about. Now, until you master the process, once you master the process, you'll be able to do this in your mind in 30 seconds flat. Because you'll strengthen your intuition, you'll strengthen your connection, you'll be able to do it. But you're learning, and you're a warrior in training, so you must have instruction, okay? Now, you can do this in your mind, you can. But until you master the practice and the skill, I would invite you to write it out, all right? It's just an invitation. You're a warrior in training. You don't want to go out there with your helmet on crooked, okay? So let's start here. Take a breath. Without reacting, without needing to do anything, just bring to mind a difficult or challenging or ongoing issue, not related to the corona, an ongoing issue or a being, yeah? Something that you've been wrestling with or struggling through. Bring it to mind. Just bring it to mind with no emotion and describe it in 10 words or less. In your mind, just bring it to mind. For example, healing my relationship with my sister, my mother, my ex, my partner. 10 words or less, not a story. Just bring it, or how do I deal with my difficult coworkers or my difficult supervisor? Just bring it to mind, 10 words or less. Or why do I have such difficulty speaking up for myself? Why is it so hard for me to ask for what I want? Why is it challenging for me to say what I feel or know or think? Come on, let me see some of what you're working with. Let me make sure. Let me make sure that you got it. Struggling, okay, maintain healthy, okay? So how do I maintain healthy connections with my family, okay? Don't marriage, that's one word. What about the marriage? A warrior has to be specific. Healing my relationship with myself. How do I heal my relationship to myself? Being able to tolerate my cousin, that's not the correct one. It is, why do I find my cousin intolerable? This is about you. It's not about the cousin. Why do I find my cousin intolerable, okay? Why is my relationship with my sister so difficult? Excellent. Being reunited with my special needs. How can I be reunited? How to deal with my daughter, disrespectful daughter. Let's work on that one. I would make that, why do I see my daughter as disrespectful? And how can I change that? Or how can I deal with the disrespect I get from my daughter? Why is it so challenging to maintain healthy? Okay, how do I settle conflict with the family? You need to be a little more specific about that. How about how do I settle conflicts with people I love? Let's make it a little more general, okay? Why do I find my husband to be intolerable? Excellent. How do I communicate assertively? Okay, you got it. You got it. Why do I continue? Okay, let me tell you something about why, spiritual warriors. Okay, spiritual warriors. Why is, you'll never get an answer to why, because the ego uses why to create confusion in the mind. Never ask why. Why? Because. Why? Well, why that? Because. Why this? Because. Why this? Okay. So what you might wanna, how you wanna phrase that, and I know I said why do I, but when you're putting other people in it, you're never gonna get the right answer. So it may be, how do I create? Okay. How do I create better, How do I communicate what I need? That's what I'm talking about. Not why is it so difficult. I gave you wrong instruction. Cancel, 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 all right? How do I? Yeah, how, okay. What am I, okay, we're gonna work on that, okay? If you can phrase it, why is there so much tension between my granddaughter? Okay, what is the tension between my granddaughter and I? Not why, but what is the tension? Okay, how can I make it maintain? Okay, how do I release that? Okay, you got it. Okay, you got it. You got it. Now, if when you see that why come up for you, because that it's a circular argument. Okay, so you want to try to change it to a why or a what or a how, not a why, a what or a how. All right. Great, you got it. I wanted to make sure that how do I build a healthy relationship with my children's father? Excellent, excellent. And I'm glad you called him your children's father as opposed to your ex, because the relationship that you build with your ex is very different than the relationship you build with your children's father. Hear me? Or your children's mother. To build a relationship with your ex is about you and that other person. To build a relationship with your children's parent, your children's father or mother, is about you, the children, and that person. Can you see the distinction? Yes. So very often we try to build a relationship with our ex. I don't need no. You are my husband or my past lover. I'm in the now. In the now, you are my children's father, my children's mother. You are a co-parent, okay? Make that distinction. Okay, let me get out of here. I'm running out of time here. All right, bring the situation to mind. You put it down here, right? So, or you're gonna write it in the thread, but when you finish this, you're gonna write it down on paper, all right? Now here are a few elements that you can use. These are the elements that you have to use. If you can write these down, if not, you're gonna have to go back, all right? As it relates to whatever the situation is. What am I feeling? Stop, breathe, nothing to do. Just be aware. What am I feeling? Don't try to change it, just be aware of it. Don't fix it, don't resist it, don't lie about it, tell the truth. As it relates to blah, blah, what I feel is, all right? Here's the next thing you gotta do. As it relates to understanding my husband, where am I feeling it in my body? Where am I feeling it in my body? So you wanna be aware of what you feel, and you wanna be aware of where you feel it. Again, just be aware. No changing, no fixing, just be aware, okay? No resistance. What am I feeling? Where am I feeling it in my body? Notice it. Here's the next one. This is the third one. What experience does this remind me of? Oh, come on now, just breathe. When you get clear about what you feel and where you feel it, ask, make inquiry. What does this remind me of? Next, the next question. Now you got to do these one at a time and take your time and work through them. As it relates to communication with people when your voice is too loud? What am I believing about myself in this experience when people think my voice is too loud? When I'm seeing my husband, I'm finding it difficult to tolerate my husband. What am I believing about myself, about my husband, about my coworker? What am I believing? What am I believing? That one you got to breathe and dig in, okay? I believe that. I believe that people should accept me as I am. I believe, whatever. Okay? And here's your next inquiry. What has this experience come to teach me? Or you might say, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? As opposed to trying to fix it, what does it come to teach me? What does it come to teach me? Yeah? How can I grow from this? What am I learning? So here it is again, as it relates to whatever the experience is. What am I feeling? I'm feeling sad or frustrated or angry. Nothing to do, just be aware. Where am I feeling it in my body? Just be aware as you write it out. What does this experience remind me of? It may take you back, because remember, the mind is always referencing the past. What am I believing about myself or this or that or the other thing? Be willing to know the truth, warriors. Be willing to know the truth, okay? You can make this inquiry in these ways. What has this experience come to teach me? What can I learn from this experience? How can I grow from this experience? These are the questions that you must ask, all right? As opposed to fighting and being upset and complaining. Remember Eckhart said, okay? These are important. Now, here's the final inquiry. And I'm telling you, if you do it enough in writing, you'll be able to do this in your head. 30 seconds flat. Okay, what am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? What am I believing right now? What does this remind me of? What has come to teach me? That's how it'll be. But you got to master it first, okay? Here's the final question, okay? Clutch your pearls. Here's the final question. If this experience were to never change, what do I need to practice to maintain or regain peace? If this experience were to never change, what do I need to practice to maintain or regain peace? Warriors, be willing to know the truth. An inquiry made with innocence and curiosity will take you deep inside, all right? Now, here are a few principles that you want to take into consideration as you do this. Things that you're going to have to practice, okay? Things you're going to have to practice. Courage. You must move through the process courageously, not trying to fix nothing, change nothing. You're making inquiry. You want to know the truth. That's all. You've got to have courage. You have to have compassion. Because when you start to discover some things about you, you're going to be horrified. You just want to gouge your eye out with a plastic spoon. Don't do it. Be mindful not to beat yourself or anybody else up. Curiosity. Wow, isn't that interesting? Also be mindful of the judgments. Non-judgmental. Be mindful of the judgments that you've made about people in the past and don't bring them into your inquiry. Judgments are about right and wrong and good and should and shouldn't. Don't attach these to your inquiries. Do not attach them, all right? Here's a few more principles. Patience. Be patient with yourself. Sometime it'll pop into your head, and sometime when there's resistance, you're going to have to dig. Just let things come up and let them be. And if they don't come up, breathe and move on. Acknowledge what you feel and just let it be. When you're ready, it'll come up. The mind really protects us. You got to learn acceptance, trust, truth, forgiveness, openness, and willingness. Courage, compassion, acceptance, trust, truth, faith, openness, willingness. Don't forget, patience, compassion, accept what you see. Yeah, it's a lot. Now I invite you to take some time, even before you do your inquiry, and investigate the meanings of these words. I don't mean just look them up on the dictionary. Investigate them. Read about them. Study them so that you will know how to practice them. Not that you have an intellectual understanding, not just to make inquiry, but to practice these things in your life. These are warrior tools, and that's what you have to do. If you really want some deeper study and how to practice these things, I want to recommend 2 texts for you. One is The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Don Miguel Ruiz, that's an old book, but if you haven't read it, read it. And if you have read it, read it again. And the other one is The Teachings of Don Juan by Carlos Castaneda. We have visited both of those things in our time together. The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz and The Teachings of Don Juan by Carlos Castaneda. Because if you're committed to growing into warriorhood, then you have to know this literature and you have to know these principles from different teachers, not just me. That's our work for today. Look up those principles. Do you remember? Courage, compassion, acceptance, patience, trust, truth, forgiveness, openness, willingness. Don't make this an intellectual exercise, warriors. You've got to do the work, and this is the work. You know, you'll write me and call me and you want to touch me. No. Do your work. Do your work. You do this work and you don't need me. Because what is it? It is inquiry for investigation and inspiration. Yeah, I know you're lazy. Yeah, and that's not going to turn out well for you. We can't be lazy in this time. Listen, we don't know what's on the other side of this corona. We don't know who to believe, who to listen to. We don't know. You don't worry about the shadow. The shadow will come up and you'll get it. Don't go digging. Self-diagnosis is misdiagnosis. Do this work first. Don't worry about your shadow. Okay? So here, you're going to make inquiry. You got your situation. Breathe. Reset your brain. Remember how you reset your brain with the blinking? If you don't know how to reset your brain, we did it on Saturday. So go back and look at, that would be day 43. Go back and look and know how to reset your brain. Blink, and then hold, okay? Reset your brain. You can do that. Then you want to write out an Acts prayer. Breathe, reset your brain before you make inquiry. Pray. That's why you got the Acts prayer. It's a quickie. You can do it, and you're setting an intention, okay? Let your supplication in your Acts prayer be for guidance as you make this inquiry. Can you hear me? Use your Acts prayer, then make your inquiry. Write it out. You have the questions. Remember, you have the questions that will give you what you need to know. And the biggest thing is, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? How can I grow? And finally, if this experience were to never change, what do I need to do to maintain or regain peace? Woo! All right? Don't forget those principles. Courage, compassion, patience, acceptance, trust, truth, forgiveness, openness, and willingness. So that is your spiritual warrior assignment for today. Now, you may not complete it all today, but you can begin it today, and that's okay. Warriors don't rush. Warriors are strategic. Is that accurate? Okay, good. And we breathe. This is Teaching Monday, so forgive me for taking a lot of time, but I want you to get this, okay? Because you know what? We're not going to be here forever, all right? You have to have this. Well, you don't have to have anything. I want to make sure that I'm giving it to you. What you do with it is your business. Once I give it to you, that's on you, okay? For the babies, for the children today, Now, this is particularly for tweens and teens. I would say ages of about 10 or 11 all the way up to 18. Listen, sit them down and invite them to write down their upsets. Their upsets. We so rarely ask our young'uns about their upsets. What are the things that upset them? Who are the people that they are upset with? Encourage them to share their upsets. And when they do, teach them how to clear them. Really? Teach them how to clear them. Remember the clearing? To the right and exhale all the way to the left and back to center. So they have an upset with daddy because daddy never lets them. Okay, I'm choosing to release my upset with my father. I am releasing that upset now and back to center. And be willing to hear their upsets with you. Be willing to hear their upsets with you. But invite them to write them down, and then you can help show them how to clear them because you're giving them a skill that they can use. Imagine if you had that skill when you was 13, okay? And this way we're teaching them as we learn. So because so often we forget to teach them what we know and what we learn, okay? So if there's something that's upsetting, if there's something that they don't like, they can do that in school, all right? So please do this with them. Don't question them, don't challenge them, don't dig, don't help them make inquiry. And if they don't want to do it, just tell them Miss Iyanla said do it. They'll do it because I'm on television. You know how the kids will follow anybody on TV. Just say, Miss Iyanla said you had to do this, okay? So this way we're sharing with them, all right? Listen, I also wanted to share very quickly that it's official. The Inner Visions Institute is officially going online because we don't know what's going to happen with this thing. So both the personal development program, which is a 20-month program, and the coaching program, which is a year, they will both now be distance online learning. So those of you who've always wanted to come and couldn't afford the plane fare or the hotel or whatever, well, here's your opportunity. You see how the universe just gets you what you need and what you want. So you can study with me at the Inner Visions Institute. Now you will have to come in twice, once a year from now, next July 2021, and you'll have to come in for completion. But it's a lot easier to save your money over a year than it is to, try to come up with it. So all of you around the world, around the country, all you have to do is be 18 and have a high school diploma, fill out the application. So if you're interested, go to innervisionsww.com and look under Inner Visions Institute, and you can read about it. You can get the application for our personal development program, which is 20 months, or our spiritual life coaching training program. Now, some of you may apply to coaching and end up in personal development. It all depends on what we see in your application, okay? And we breathe. Listen, one other thing, all of the masks, the remaining charcoal masks and hand sanitizer is going out today to the first responders. Some of it went out Friday. The rest is going out today. So if you haven't gotten it, don't think we forgot you. Some of y'all didn't give us no name, no house number. I don't know. So be on the lookout for an email. Okay. All righty. What else did I want to tell you? Let me shut my mouth. I've been running my mouth for a long time, but this is Mindful Monday, okay? Yes, you can come to class if you live overseas, but you're going to have to come in twice. Once July 2021, and then again, well, we'll see. We don't know, because we don't know what the corona's doing, all right? I want to close today with a reading from In His Presence by Eva Bell Werber, okay? This is another classic, written in 1946. We have visited her work before. We really have. She has 4 classic works: Quiet Talks with the Master, which is my favorite, In His Presence, which is this one, The Voice of the Master, and Journey with the Master. I bound all 4 of mine together, and this one I just found in a box somewhere, so I have this. But today we are in his presence. Okay, take a breath, warriors, and listen to me for a second. Yeah? Okay. This is called Inner Secrets. Listen. My child, I cannot speak to you unless you tell me the deepest secrets of your heart. Though I know all, you must come as a loving father and tell me in confidence that which lives so close to you. That's called make inquiry, beloved. You have plans. Tell me of them that I may suggest the ways in which they may be fulfilled. Tell me also of your problems so that together we may solve them. This blessed communion shall in part be an interchange of loving words and ideas. After that, just be still together so that you can gather strength. And so it shall come to be that each day's activities will be like a well-drawn map. You shall accomplish much without needless effort, haste, or confusion, dissolving the wall. My child, you often feel that a wall, high and solid, is set between you and your good. Something there is that stops your true expression. You feel that if you could but climb over the wall, all would be well. Then you would be free and able to fulfill your life's purpose. But beloved, you cannot climb over the wall. You must go through it. The wall must dissolve before you. It shall be nothing more than gray fog through which you walk. After a short time, you will find yourself free of this barrier. Once you are through it, the warm sun upon your face, and you shall gain strength because of the experience. You will be refreshed to go through the heat of the days. Do I make this clear? The wall is your concept of something you deem difficult and insurmountable. Yet, when you face it with love and fearlessness, your concept will change. Truly, there is no wall that love will not transform. And the experience of transformation will be one of great helpfulness always. So do not see a wall and name it as such. Rather, see it as a garden. And a short step taken in love will place you there. Then you will feel my presence as we meet and talk and dwell together. So again, I say, do not feel a wall between you and your good, for truly the only wall is the thing of concept that is clouding your mind for a fleeting moment. In His Presence by Eva Bell Werber. Look up your principles and do your inquiry today. Love you today. Deep bow. Deep bow of love. Have a blessed day, okay? Do your work. Do your work, warriors.